Kinetic Sand by Caitlin Kiernan. Kinetic sand has a composition made of regular sand coated by a silicone oil. These oils repel the water, leaving the product with a wet sand appearance. So for this experiment, we're going to be needing 1 cup of sand, any color, any kind. I use the sand art sand, and unfortunately the only sand I could find around. We're going to use 1 cup, half a cup of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of dish soap, and 1/4 cup of water. Basically what we're going to do is put the sand in a bowl. Make sure you have 1 cup. I had to use a few different colors, as you can see. Looked kind of pretty anyway, so it was fine with me. Then you're going to add 1/4 of the cornstarch, 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch to the sand. Then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of dish soap. Then you're going to mix it together. Then you're going to add the water. Then you're going to mix it again, and then it's going to be kind of soupy. So now you're going to add in the other 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and then you're going to mix it one last time. And now you're going to wait a few hours. Mine took about 5 or 6 hours. I think maybe it probably could have been a little bit faster. I'm just not sure what exactly went on. And so here is my experiment. So this experiment was a lot of fun to make. I chose to use a few different colors of sand to make my kinetic sand kind of pretty. The weeding process was probably the longest. After combining the mixture of the sand, it was very sticky. So I placed it outside for a few hours to make it a little less sticky, which also helped, but I think it may have dried it out a little bit too much because obviously it's been a little bit hot where I am. I'm not sure if I added the ingredients right or what was going on, but it kind of felt a little too dry because mine never became the exact consistency it should have been. And I'm thinking of leaving it overnight in hopes that it will be kinetic sand tomorrow morning. As you can see here, this is kind of just a quick overview of all the steps. Adding in the dish soap. And then we're going to mix it together. Just make sure everything's all mixed together perfectly. It's a little bit harder, especially with the dish soap. You got to make sure that everything is mixed properly. There's no big chunks anywhere. And then we're going to add the water, and then we're going to mix that together. Now everything gets a little soupier, but a little bit heavier, so you have to use a little bit of elbow grease to turn that combination mixture. And then the last thing you're going to add is the cornstarch. So I think I didn't record that, but that's okay. As you can see, it was kind of liquidy, so I added the cornstarch to make it a little less liquidy, and then we waited a few hours. And this was my end result. As you can see, it's not as sticky as I want it to be. It was kind of too dried out. Maybe I left it a little bit too long. I'm not sure exactly what went on, but it was still fun to make. So kinetic sand is composed of 98% sand and 2% polydimethysiloxane. Polydimethysiloxane is a combination of a polymeric organosilicone combination, also known as silicones. These silicones surrounded the regular sand particles, allowing them to create polymerization. Polymerization is described as a chemical process of which reacting monomer chemicals produce a polymer chain. These chains allowed for the breaking and the reconnecting of the sand by the hydrogen bonds. And here's some photos.